Hey y'all, this video is about Adou Thiero and his highlight reel, or more broadly what I call the battle of the highlight reel, right? So, for example, 25 years from now, when youngsters are looking at videos or clips or a highlight reel, because that's what they're going to look at. They're not going to watch a whole game. When they look at a highlight reel of Nikola Jokic, they're not going to get it. You tell them, yo, this dude was the best player in the NBA. Or this dude might be the greatest center ever. They're not going to understand. They're not going to get it. Because his highlight reel is going to look like a joke. It's not going to pop. You know, and my favorite player ever is Magic Johnson. Later on, I'll make a video where I articulate why I think he is the greatest player ever. Right? But I know that next to Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson's highlight reel is not going to pop. And do you think anybody is going to go back and watch 10 games from the 1987 season of Magic Johnson, or 10 games from the 2023 season of Nikola Jokic? Nobody's going to go back and watch the games. They're going to look at the highlight reel. Nobody got time for that shit. They're going to look at the highlight reel, and in the highlight reel, Nikola Jokic is going to do shit that makes the rest of the NBA look like they were incompetent. That's what they're going to see in the highlight reel, right? Because people aren't going to understand just how good Nikola Jokic is. It wasn't that the rest of the NBA was shit. It was that Nikola Jokic was that good. And nobody's going to get it. 25 years from now, they're not going to get it. So why do I bring that up next to Adou, right? I bring that up because the highlight reel tells something, right? There's obvious things that the highlight reel is telling you. For example, you look at a highlight reel of Nikola Jokic, you know he was fundamentally sound. 25 years from now, people are going to look at a highlight reel of Tim Duncan, and they're going to say, he was just an average center, because there is nothing dynamic that the dude is going to do. His nickname was the Big Fundamental. 25 years from now, young cats ain't going to get it. They're not going to understand. You know, same thing goes for Magic Johnson. What's a look away pass? You know what I mean? People don't understand that Magic Johnson dictated the whole freaking game. His imprint was on the whole game. You know, and then like now, you hear dudes like Stephen A. Smith. He don't give Tyrese Haliburton the props Tyrese Haliburton deserves, because the NBA is such now that people don't understand anything but three-pointers and really dunks. They're just now starting to appreciate mid-range shots again. For a minute, to a lot of people, a mid-range shot was the dumbest shot in the world. Thanks to Shai Gilgeous playing like a player from 1992, right? Shooting shots at a player, you know, and they having a game. A simple, fundamental game of a player from 1989, right? Came back and dominated shit. And now he's about to bring back the mid-range, you know? But, so the reason why I bring this up next to Adou is because I don't want to diminish his highlight reel. As a matter of fact, I'm propping up the dude's highlight reel. At the end of my last video, I spoke of his highlight reel and how he pops, right? And not all players could pop on a highlight reel. You know, it's like house hunting. You ever go house hunting? Go house hunting, man. By the time you look at house number 8, you're not going to remember what house number 2 looked like. It's all going to blend together. You know what I mean? Now, if you see that one house where it's like, oh shit, this is something different. Oh, this is something unique. You know, that one house is going to stick out in your mind, right? So again, I could show you 100 different highlight reels of players you probably never heard of before, and none of them is going to stick out, right? You watch a highlight reel of Adou, right? And you're going to know that you're looking at something special. And that's what I wanted to give the dude props about. Not everyone that you see in a highlight reel sticks out. Last video I brought up a guy named James Flight White. If you guys have never heard of James Flight White, went to University of Cincinnati. Go pull up a highlight reel of this dude. You'll see him do shit. I was hoping the Lakers would get him, and I couldn't figure out why the dude kept dropping in the draft. Well, I was young and I was ignorant. You know? At the end of the day, in a game, a dunk is 2 points. Yeah, so I was saying, at the end of the day, a dunk is 2 points. So, James Flight White, every now and again, he'd get off some of these crazy ass dunks he was doing. Dude was 6'6", 6'7", and was a better leaper than Michael Jordan. He just did not have the game, right? So again, I bring up Adou Thiero because the dude wins the battle of the highlight reel. He wins the battle of the highlight reel. I mean, if you were to watch 100 different highlight reels, just from athletes, NBA basketball athletes, right? If you were to watch 100 different highlight reels from athletes, this dude is exceptional. This dude sticks out. James Flight White, he had a video or reels or mixtapes of like him doing all these crazy ass dunks. And when I say crazy ass dunks, I don't mean dunks near the rim. I mean dunks that started a foot behind the free throw line. He had a video reel like that. And when the dude jumped from the free throw line, he double pump or windmill or all kinds of shit. James Flight White, go look him up. And that dude won the battle of the highlight reel. But it's funny because the dude couldn't play. He won the highlight reel, but he couldn't play. You know? And that's where I think Adou Thiero is going to excel. When you have had to be a point guard at one point in time, right? Because when you're tall in 4th grade, they make you the center. And then when you're tall in 7th grade, you're the center. And when you're tall in 12th, you're the center. You know what I mean? And you just don't have to pick up an aspect of learning how to play that a kid who was a point guard had to pick up. Kid who's a point guard got to learn how to do everything. He got to learn how to dribble. He has to learn the game. He has to learn how to shoot. He has to learn how to do everything. What a big man has to learn how to do is shoot, maybe, right? Because what a big man gets coming through the system, what a big man is going to get is shit that a big man gets. You know what I mean? Rebounds come easy, right? Layups come easy. Who's going to challenge you? That type shit. You know what I mean? Then the second that big man gets challenged, then you start to realize what his love for the game is. You start to see, right? A big man versus a 6'10" 9th grader versus a bunch of 5'8" 9th graders. What that guy's gonna look like a superstar. But the second you have him in against another 6'7", 6'8" player, then you start to see what that kid is made of, right? You start to see how much he loves the game. Does he want to quit, or does he want to go back and work harder in order to beat that guy or be better than that guy or compete with that guy? So I bring up Adou Thiero's highlight reel because they don't always matter. Highlight reels don't have to matter. You know, you got a million players, you got a million different highlight reels, they all look good in them. They don't always matter. This dude's, in my opinion, matters because of what he was doing in his highlight reel. Not only does his athleticism stick out more than damn near any player I've seen recently, his athleticism sticks out, but you see, his ability to, I'm telling y'all, a lot of people, I don't think they caught this. His ability to jump off that right foot and do shit with the left hand. It's shit that you might have to, it goes back to what I was saying. It's shit that you might have had to learn how to do when you were 5'8" and competing against a bunch of 5'8" people. Right? Or being 5'8", competing a bunch of people who were 6 feet and up. You know? You got to learn how to manipulate your left hand if you're right-handed. That just shows the work he did. The fact that as an athlete, he so seamlessly seemed to dunk over and over and over again. with his left hand jumping off his right foot when he's obviously right-handed says he put a certain amount of work into his game that you got to respect, man. You know, when I was younger, I used to dribble with my right hand. Dribble with my right hand. By the time I got to 9th, 10th, 11th grade, my dad, he corrected me. He's like, yo, man, you got to be able to dribble with your left hand. This is when I was, 8 years old, 9 years old. I worked on my left hand so much that it felt odd for me to dribble with my right. It's like I developed that side of my brain so much that it felt odd to dribble with my right hand. I always preferred to dribble with my left hand, to the point that when we played, I remember playing against Trenton. I went to high school in Trenton, New Jersey, or in New Jersey. We played against Trenton, but I remember playing against Trenton, and I was killing them, man. And the coach, one of the players says to the coach, I can't tell if this dude's left or right hand. I can't figure it out, right? Because I would dribble with my left and I'd shoot with my right. This dude, I was watching a highlight reel of Adou Thiero, and if the highlight reel was 5 minutes long, for 2.5, 3 minutes, I couldn't figure out if this dude was right or left-handed. Seen a jump hook with his left, seen multiple layups with his left. I seen him jump off his right foot, dunk with two hands. I seen him jump off his right foot, dunk with the left. Seen him dunk with the right a couple of times. I couldn't figure it out until they started showing this cat shooting jumpers, shooting threes. And when he was shooting threes, I said, yo, this dude is right-handed. The fuck? I was like, yo, that. And then, you start to hear his story start to fill out, over the course of the days that follow the draft. And you start to hear, this dude was 5'8". He was a guard. He was a point guard. And he's like, oh, shit. Well, whenever you hear that story, you feel good because you know that the player is skilled, right? He has more skill than a guy, like I was saying earlier, than a guy whose job is to be 6'9". You know what I mean? That's his job, is to be just do 6'9" shit on a basketball court, knowing that the rim is 10 feet high. Just keep doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? He had to develop skills. So when you see little things like that, again, this is aside from the fact that just in the battle of the highlight reel, the one, for example, Jordan versus Nikola Jokic. Jordan wins the battle of the highlight reel. Jordan wins the battle of the highlight reel against everybody. I'm not saying he was the best player ever. I don't think he was the best player ever. He definitely was a highlight reel against Magic Johnson, though. His shit is just more aesthetically pleasing, right? So when you see a guy who you start to hear a story fill in, and it's like, oh, he was 5'8". Then in this year he grew this much, and then in this year he grew this much, and the heights that he grew to, he still had, for example, if he had a growth spurt when he was in 6th grade, right? That may not result in him having skills. Because it ain't so serious in 6th grade. It's serious. It could be serious, but it ain't so serious in 6th grade. In 6th grade, you have a growth spurt and you're way taller than everybody else. They're going to put your ass at the center position. This dude actually was 5'8" as a freshman. Meaning, if he wanted to play basketball as a freshman in high school, decent shot, he had to have point guard skills. He was 6'2" as a sophomore, junior. He still had to have point guard skills, right? And then when you pop up to 6'8", that means you put in all that work and it's manifesting you at 6'8". It's like it worked out for you. You hear a very similar story about David Robinson, the center, David Robinson. He went to the Naval Academy, and of course, when you're 7'2", you can't do anything on any ship or a submarine or anything like that. You're too damn tall, right? But he could play basketball. So they left his ass in and let him play basketball. But he's another one who was 6'4" or something like that. He was a gymnast, by the way. So, gymnasts, you see them pop up off the ground or something like that. I mean, gymnasts are super athletes, right? He was a gymnast, and he grew like 7 inches after the age of 18. Something crazy. Anyway, he had skills and abilities that you just don't see from somebody who was 7'1". Like when you watched him move on the court, it was, I'll put it like this. As far as David Robinson's movements go, I never seen a dude that tall move like David Robinson did. David Robinson almost moved like a small forward. You know what I mean? He wasn't lumbering. He wasn't gangly. The dude just always just moved like every muscle he had, what he was in control of. You know? And the point is that when you got a player or someone who was small and they loved the game to the point that they had to work on it to play, and then that player who was small grows a foot, right, between his freshman year and now, right? And he didn't just grow a foot between his freshman year and now. He grew at a rate that left him in skilled positions for a long time, right? So whatever he is now, whatever Adou Thiero is now, yo man, he did it and he carried the skill with him. He took the skill with him. You know, so that's why I want to make the video. I want to make a video to point out, and I'll probably make a video of literally just about the battle of the highlight reel. But given the season we're in now, it's Adou Thiero relative to the battle of the highlight reel. Because what I saw athletically, the dude pops, the dude wins, right? In the same sense that, you know, I believe Magic is the greatest player ever. Jordan's going to win the battle of the highlight reel, though. In that sense, that dude wins. Adou Thiero wins. And it's not just that he wins. He wins amongst the top athletes I've ever seen play in the NBA. You know, I mean, he's up there, in my opinion, what I saw, he's up there with Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan, Sean Kemp. He's up there with those cats. That's just what I saw. And then you take a dude like James Flight White. James Flight White couldn't get it off in a basketball game. You know, what he got off in a basketball game was wide open breakaways. Right? He got wide open breakaways. He did his thing, man. He did what we all know James Flight White to do. But he couldn't get his off in the game. This dude, he's getting his shit off in a game, in like a half-court setting. You know what I mean? Shit like that. That's something different. You see, man, in a highlight reel, a lot of people just look at the dunk. But if you ever played, you're looking at what foot they're jumping off. Right? How many dunks does he have in this highlight reel where he jumped off the quote-unquote wrong foot, which don't look like the wrong foot to him? It looks natural as hell to him, which is impressive. But see, as a basketball player, I'm looking at what foot he's jumping off of. You know, I'm looking at his form on his jump shot, on his three that he just made. Does that look sustainable? And it did. He may have shot 23% from three, but his jump shot don't look broke. It looks pretty good. You know, I'm looking at, did the dude have to put the ball on the ground in order to get to the dunk? What, you see what I'm saying? It's so many different things just in a highlight reel. Could I say I've seen him play? No, I can't say I've seen him play, because I also understand you need to watch the entire game in order to understand how good someone is. Which is why, in the long run, Magic Johnson will be worse than Jordan. Jokic will be worse than Jordan. Hakeem Olajuwon will be worse than Jordan. Everybody will be worse than Jordan. Because Jordan has some of the most impressive highlights ever. You know, and it's just their jaw dropping. It doesn't mean he's a better player. It means the dude produces better highlights. You know, if somebody were to argue that Jordan's the greatest ever, which most people do, I'm not tripping. I'm not even in the mood to argue about that shit. It's a respectable opinion. It's a respectable stance. I'm not tripping about that. You know, I think Magic is the best, but if you think Jordan is, that's fine. My point is that the highlight reel is going to make Jordan better in the long run. Better than damn near everybody. You know, And I mean, it's the same reason why Tyrese Haliburton, in my opinion, don't get the respect he deserves. If Tyrese Haliburton has a game and he scores 15 and has 10 assists, people are going to look at him like 15 and 10 ain't that impressive. Well, if you dictate the entire team's actions, it's very impressive. And if your team is in the finals or actually won the title, it's really impressive. Because what I understand that a lot of the talking heads don't, and I want to say Stephen A. Smith in particular, is that Tyrese Haliburton, yeah, is he the first option? No, he's not the first option. He literally decides who is going to be the first option on every effing play. He has a control of the game like God. Lowercase g. He controls the game like a god. You know? Look, there's not a doubt in my mind that Jordan knows. Michael Jordan knows. And Tyrese Haliburton, any great player knows. There's somebody on my team who shoots better. There's somebody who rebounds better. There's someone who possibly passes better. Right? So what is Tyrese Haliburton getting paid for? He's getting paid to decide who gets what and when. You see what I'm saying? He has a control over the game that is greater than being an option player. First, second, or third. He's greater than that. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And a highlight reel will never show that. They'll show the shot Tyrese Haliburton shot against New York that hit the back of the rim, bounced 20 feet in the air, and then dropped through. They'll show that. Is that who Tyrese Haliburton was? No, he wasn't. They'll show Nikola Jokic throwing the ball from, 3/4, damn near full length of the court and making it. Is that who Nikola Jokic was? No. No one's going to get it. No one's going to get it. And that's what I take from the highlight reel. Is that there's something more. And when you're able to learn background information about Adou Thiero, and you figure out, this dude was 5'8", this dude was a better shooter than he is now. He's trying to adjust to his body, right? This dude jumps off the right foot, which means he's good with both hands, but it also means that when he's obviously right-handed, the dude had to work to be able to jump off of that foot. Is it possible he's ambidextrous? Yes, it's possible. But the dude had to work at it. So the dude got a work ethic. And then you watch him play, you see him make a bunch of hustle steal, shit like that. Hey, man. I mean, you got to acknowledge all of that stuff. So anyway, that's this video. It's the battle of the highlight reels, but relative to Adou Thiero. And what we might be able to pick up from what we saw. From what's obvious, which is that he's a fantastic athlete. That's obvious. But he's not just a fantastic athlete. He's in the top 0.5% of athletes in the NBA. This dude. Right? And then the dude is a worker. How do you know? Because he could jump off his right foot. Right? Because he was 5'8" at one point in time. And he developed the skills of a guard. Right? Not all, that's what they say about big men. Big men don't necessarily love the game. They're just big. That's what they'll do. Because they're big. They want to play sports, go play basketball. You know what I'm saying? He had to have a work ethic in order to make it. He was picked up by Kentucky when he wasn't this tall. So what did Kentucky see? Do you think they saw a growth spurt? No, I don't think so. I think they saw a player with potential to be something. And then the dude grows and, hey, man, that's the story. Anyway, y'all, this is Pure Uncut Lakers. Be cool. Please like and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.